You're gonna head over there and be seated, and I think you probably need to pull that microphone down a little bit. Okay, I think that.
Please state your full name, and if you could spell your first and your last name for the record.
Yep, it's Jamie Lee Slife, and it's Jamie, and my last name is S as in Sam, Lif as in Frank, E.
Ma'am, are you married?
Yes.
Where do you live?
I live in Urbana, Iowa. Urbana, Iowa.
And you can probably sit back a little bit. It seems that
Okay, I'm sorry,
It seems like there's a sweet spot with these mics, so
Okay.
we have all struggled with that. There's a learning curve.
Okay.
You said you live in Urbana, Iowa,
Mhm.
is that right?
Yes.
Is that, what county is that in?
Benton County. It's just north of Cedar Rapids.
In Benton County, where is that in relation to Poweshiek County?
A couple counties over. I think it goes Benton, Tama. Poweshiek County is southwest of where I live.
It's close in relation to Poweshiek County. Would you agree with that?
I mean, within driving. I mean, it's about halfway between me and Des Moines, I think.
In any event, do you recall in July of 2018 when there were stories about Mollie Tibbetts missing?
Yes.
The Benton County being close in relation, it was nationwide news. That
Oh, yeah, it
this
was all over the news, yep.
And did you pay attention to that, those news coverages?
I did.
At that point in time, did you make some tips or some phone calls into the tip line?
I did.
And what was your understanding of the tip line in reference to Mollie Tibbetts?
Well, just all over the news, they just kept saying that if you have any tips, to just call in. No tips for too big or too small, just to call.
And based on your experience, you decided to call in a tip a couple different times. Is that right?
That is correct.
Who is your father?
Ron Pexa.
And Ron Pexa, how has he historically been employed?
Historically, he has been in law enforcement. He also worked as an accident investigator for the DOT when I was a kid growing up.
You had concerns that your father lived in the Poweshiek County area, is that right?
Yes.
And based on those concerns, did you report tips to the tip line?
I did.
How many different times did you call the tip line?
I first called the tip line just a few days after she went missing. After that, it was probably a couple weeks into it. When it kind of got closer to his area, I thought I should probably call again. I'm sure they've been flooded with tips, and I just felt like I needed to call again. And then again, I ended up calling the sheriff's department there in Poweshiek to leave a message just because I felt like it was the right thing to. It just kept eating at me that I needed to call.
So there were 3 different times that you called, is that right?
Yes.
Why did you call?
My dad has sexually abused.
I'm gonna object to this. Can we approach?
Ms. Freeze, back to you. You can go ahead and, why don't you rephrase that, or repeat your question, rephrase it, complete it. I'm not sure where we are, but you're up with a question.
Ms. Slife, I know this is difficult for you, but why did you make those calls regarding your father?
Because I know the type of man he is. He sexually abused me and my sisters. He used to threaten to kill us.
Judge, these threats, the statements have nothing to do with this case. This is completely irrelevant.
I have DHS records that document.
Hold on. Objection's overruled. Go ahead and finish your answer.
I guess I would just like to say that I'm here just to state the facts. And the facts are that I have documents of the abuse, of severe trauma that was committed by my dad, Ron Pexa. And so based on the man that I know him to be, I felt the right thing to do was to call the tip line. And when, again, just based on the media, they were then now searching in his area, I felt the need to call again because I did not know if I had been heard, if my tip had been taken serious.
Now, you said that you were a sexual abuse victim of your father, is that right?
Yes.
And I understand you don't want to bring your family into this, but you also said that your sisters were sexual abuse victims of your father, is that right?
Yes, and it was founded by DHS.
You also said that your mother was victimized somehow by Mr. Pexa, is that right?
Yes, he was very violent. He would pull guns on us. He threw knives at my mom.
Did Mr. Pexa ever make threats to kill you or your sisters?
Again,
Yes.
Judge, what relevance does this have? This is completely irrelevant as it relates to this particular young woman.
I got about 5 more minutes I'm not planning on taking the rest of the day.
Okay. I'm going to overrule the objection, but I'm going to hold you to that promise, and let's get to where we're going.
Based on that information, did you continue to try to make your concerns known?
Yes.
And your father lives in a specific area in Powesheik County, is that right?
Yes.
And did you pay attention to this investigation?
Yeah, when she went missing, yeah, it kind of, it was just, yeah, well, yeah, I think the whole country did.
Yeah, everybody paid attention.
Yep.
And
it felt like it hit a little close to home just because I was calling the tip line, but yes, I kept track of it.
At some point in time, did the search area contain an area that was close to where your father lived?
Yes.
In fact, his home was right in that area, is that right?
That is correct.
Did you make another call at that point in time?
That is when I called the sheriff's department.
Now, Ms. Slife, did you ever get any feedback or any phone calls from law enforcement?
No.
At some point in time, a body was located, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
Where was that body located in reference to your father's home?
Right next to his property.
No further questions.
Mr. Brown, you may cross-examine.
Ron Pexa is your father?
Yes.
Is this the same Ron Pexa who was a basketball player?
Yes, for Washington High School in Missouri.
He played for Missouri, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I'm sorry, yes.
He's a tall guy, right?
Yes, he's 6'7".
Okay. Is he actually taller than that?
No, I believe he's 6'7".
Okay. So he stands out, would you agree, by his height? He's taller than most human beings, is that correct?
Correct.
And it's safe to say that you don't have a good relationship with Ron Pexa, correct?
No, I do not have a relationship with him.
That's all.
Anything else of this witness?
No. Thank you, Ms. Slife.
Thank you for being here. Your excuse me, step. Defense may call its next witness.
Defense calls Luis Medina.
Right here, and I'll swear you in, sir. Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Medina, would you make your way over there and be seated in that chair, please? Go ahead.
Please state your full name and spell your last name for the record.
Luis Medina, Luis Medina.
Where do you live, sir?
Tama.
Who do you live there with?
My family, Roma, and my kids.
At one point in time, did Cristhian Bahena Rivera live with you?
Yes.
And did he live with you upon entering this country?
When he came into this country, yeah, he lived with me.
Sir, how are you related to Cristhian Bahena Rivera?
He's the nephew of my wife.
Now, your wife is Cristhian Bahena Rivera's father's sister, is that right?
Yeah.
Where does my client's parents live?
Mexico.
Do you know where in Mexico they live?
Guerrero.
Is your wife also from that area?
Yes.
Now, sir, are you a United States citizen?
Yes.
Were you born in the United States?
No.
Do you recall when you immigrated into the United States?
Yes.
Give the jury just some brief information about when and how you got to the United States.
I was 5 years old. We migrated. I remember walking a lot, jump into a trailer. They flew us to Illinois. And then we lived with some relatives there for a while. Then we finally went to Chicago and stayed there for a while. It was hard.
Is that one of the first memories that you have in your life?
Yeah, difficult memories, yeah.
Your parents, when they were in Mexico, do you know how they were employed?
Not really. Probably just farming. You just make your own food farming.
In the United States, how were they employed?
My dad worked at a pallet shop, like repair pallets, wood, in Chicago. And my mom, I think, was like a mail staffing process.
Now, because of your parents' decisions, you were able to attend school in the United States, is that right?
Yes.
Did they speak any English?
No.
Is that how you learned the language?
Yes.
And sir, currently, are you gainfully employed?
Yes.
What do you do for a living?
I do electrical work, electrician.
And are you in a program so that you can be licensed?
Yeah, I've been trying to get my license, so I'm working on that.
And currently, you make a pretty good income, is that right, sir?
Yes.
What do you make hourly?
$37.50.
You able to support your family?
Yes.
How many children do you have?
4, 5. The oldest don't live with me no more.
And that's because he's an adult?
Yes.
Are you able to provide for your children and their activities?
Yes.
Is what you're able to do a lot more than what your parents were able to do for you?
Yes.
Now, sir, you became aware that Cristhian Bahena Rivera was coming to your location from Mexico, is that right?
Yes.
What was your understanding of how he came here?
My wife told me that he's moving over here to help his family in Mexico with financially,
And his parents in Mexico, they're poor, is that right?
Yes.
Most people, have you been down to, it's Guerrero, is that right?
Right. No.
Is it your understanding that it's a poor area of Mexico?
Right.
Was your understanding that Cristhian Bahena Rivera was coming to this country to find work? Is that right?
Yes.
When he got there, did you provide a place for him to sleep?
Yes.
Did he have a room at your house?
Yes.
How long did it take for Cristhian Bahena Rivera to find work?
I would say a little less than a year.
All right, and when he started working, did you charge him any sort of rent?
No.
Was he able to send money home to his family?
Well, when he started working, yeah.
Sir, you have children at your home where Cristhian Bahena Rivera lived, is that right?
Yes.
Have you ever seen Cristhian Bahena Rivera act aggressively?
No.
You ever seen him angry?
No.
Describe his demeanor for the jury.
Well, he's quiet person. He was like, if you knew him, he'll be fine. But if you didn't know him, to me, like, you know, we're just kind of. I'm a quiet person myself. You know, I'm just shake hands and, you know, that's about it. But he was kind of funny. He did joke around with people that he knew.
Did he become close with your family, your nuclear family?
Yeah.
And then also your wife has several siblings around the Tama County and Poweshiek County area. Is that right?
Say that again?
You have your family. You have a lot of family in the area. Is that
Oh,
right?
yeah. I mean, through Roma, through marriage, yes.
And do you spend time together often?
We do. I mean, we cook out. We just do that Saturday, you know, grill. I like to grill a lot and invite people over, family especially.
Let's talk about when Cristhian Bahena Rivera was brought to the sheriff's office.
Mm-hmm.
How did you become aware that law enforcement was talking with him?
My wife called me and saying that Cristhian was being taken to the Poweshiek sheriff's office.
Did you decide to go there?
She told me to go and find out what's going on.
Did you go to the Poweshiek County Sheriff's Office?
Yes.
When you got there, what did you do?
I opened the door and pushed that button.
And in the sheriff's office, there's kind of a little doorway where there'd be a set of doors and then another set of doors.
Right.
Is that right?
Right.
And if the sheriff's office is closed, then you've got to push a button to get in. Is that right?
Right.
So you push that button?
Yep.
Did anybody answer?
Yes.
And what happened next, sir?
I asked about Cristhian, and they didn't know nothing about it, but they let me in. They told me to come in, and I went in, and I sat down. Wait there for 5 minutes. Then 2 gentlemen came in and asked me how I knew him.
Now, this waiting area that you were in, that you were let in after hitting the button, it's got some chairs and places for you to sit down. Is that right?
Yeah, it's kind of like the lobby.
There's a restroom. Is that right?
I didn't see that.
Okay. But you talked with these men, and they asked you questions about Cristhian Bahena Rivera. Is that right?
Yes.
After that was done, what did you do?
Well, I waited there a little bit more because they told me it's gonna be like 15 minutes. So then they came back again and asked me another question. It was different people, and they asked me questions about him, and I answer it, and then they told me, okay, like 15 minutes more.
So you were told 2 different times it'll be 15 minutes. Is that right?
Right.
About what time is this at night?
That was probably around 8 o'clock, 8:10, 15.
What happened next?
From there, I went to check on my son because he was outside waiting for me. And I went out there, and then I saw my sister-in-law come in with Delfino. And then
Your sister-in-law came in with?
Delfino? It was Alejandra. She came in with Delfino and asked me what's going on, and so I said, they haven't said nothing. But I went to check on my kid, and they went towards over there. And when came back, she was talking to a lady.
How old's your son?
He was 14.
So you go out and check on him, and that's when who shows up?
Alejandra and,
All right.
and Delfino.
And once they show up, do you try to go back inside of the sheriff's office?
Yes.
So you'd have to open the first door, is that right?
Yeah.
And then you press the button to get admitted into the area, is that right?
Right.
Were you allowed into the waiting room again?
They asked me if I wanted to wait out there, and we just waited there by the hallway.
Right.
So
How long did you wait?
it seemed like forever. We left that night at like 1:30 in the morning.
While you're waiting, are you trying to reach Cristhian Bahena Rivera?
No.
Were you hoping to speak with him?
No, I was just trying to find out what was going on.
Were you ever able to get any information about what they were questioning him about?
Yes, they asked me if I knew about Mollie. And I go, yeah, that's on the news. That's how I knew about it.
No further questions.
Mr. Brown, you may cross-examine.
Just to clarify a couple things. Mr. Medina, is that correct?
Yes.
How are you?
Good.
Mr. Medina, you were at the sheriff's office on August 20th of 2018, is that correct? Does that sound like the date?
So, yeah.
Okay, and what was the time frame that you were there?
I was there like around from 7:30, no later than 7:45.
So just for 15 minutes?
Inside?
I'm sorry, I'm not being clear. So you were at the sheriff's office beginning at 7:30, is that correct?
Well, yeah.
And whether you were inside or outside the sheriff's office, what was the total time you were there?
The total from 7 to 1:30. So 7:30, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 6 hours.
Okay, that's all right.
Huh?
And was there another woman that was there with you?
She came in later.
And who was that?
There was my sister-in-law.
Cervantes, is that her last name?
Yeah.
All right. And did you have a cell phone with you?
Yes.
Did you make any attempt to contact the defendant, Cristhian Bahena Rivera?
No.
You were just trying to find out kind of what was going on, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. That's all. Thank you.
Any other questions?
No, Your Honor.
Sir, thank you for being here. You're excused. You can step down. Defense may call their next witness.
Your Honor, at this time, the defense rests. Thank you.
With that then, counsel, could I have you approach, please? Members of the jury, with the defense resting, we will be in recess until tomorrow morning at 8:30. Before I send you on the way for the day, I want to remind you of your admonition. Make sure you're not discussing the case with anyone. Make sure you're not doing any type of independent research. Make sure you're not having any media exposure to the case. Please leave your notebooks where they are. They'll be collected and held by the court attendant overnight. And again, in recess until tomorrow morning at 8:30. And
They're free to go.
okay, and you are free to go. Thank you. Everyone can please be seated. We're on the record outside the presence of the jury. Jury has been sent home for the day. Defense is rested. And I'm just asking, do we have anything we need to address on the record?
Your Honor, we would renew our motion for judgment of acquittal. Oh, okay, never mind. I thought you said to renew it. No. I would
Okay.
withdraw that.
From the defense, and nothing to address on the record today, and how about from the state standpoint?
Not on the record, Judge, no.
Okay, let's go, we'll close the record for the day, at least for now. And again, I understand, appreciate this may be somewhat out of order, but is there an appetite for making record today regarding the instructions?
I would think, given I think the instructions would be fairly easy to handle. I think we should just go ahead and take care of it now so we're ready to roll tomorrow for closings after we're done.
Is that fine with the defense in terms
Could
of?
we
I mean,
take some
well,
time to look over them?
And I hope and don't think Mr. Brown was applying right away. I was
Yeah.
certainly going to give you a break and then resume whenever you're comfortable. And what I would just say off the record before we go back on the record, I mean, clearly review them. And if there's a typographical error, if we've by mistake left something out, again, please bring that to our attention. But we feel as though they're in pretty good shape at this point. And if everyone's comfortable, would like to go ahead and make record this afternoon. But again, after you reviewed them and you're ready.
I would agree with that.
Yeah,
So.
that's fine.
Okay, so just let us know when you're ready, and then for you folks, we will need the defendant back, but
So we just want us to leave them up here?
would you please?
Yeah.
Yeah, for now,
Okay,
yeah.
so leave them up
Yeah,
here.
that'd be great, okay? Okay, thanks everyone.